Well, now is the triggerfish moment. So today we'll be talking about how to care for a triggerfish. So first, let's start with the aquarium size. So basically, the aquarium size can be 30 gallons up to 30 gallons. So in this case, the minimum size for the triggerfish will be 30 gallons, not 20 gallons like the tanks. So 30 gallons will be perfect for them. So that's how the aquarium size that they need. So these fish get a little bit more bigger. They don't get extremely big, but they can be housing a 30-gallon aquarium. So if you have a 30-gallon aquarium, you keep them well fed, there is suction of the water, filtration, and your water parameters are good, then you can keep them in 30 gallons and all that stuff. If you want to keep more triggerfish like 3, then I would recommend getting a bigger tank like 50 gallons or even more to keep them. So these fish are pretty easy to keep if they are babies. When they grow up, they are a little bit more hard to keep. But anyways, let's move on. So feeding time. These fish are carnivores and they can eat small animals like microorganisms like invertebrates. So they mainly eat in the coral reef. They eat coral and they eat the small shrimps and crabs that they found on the reef. So basically, I want to say if you have I was going to say that if you have small invertebrates like shrimps, if you have corals, or if you have small crabs like hermit crabs, then I would recommend removing them or not, just simply not buying this fish because he will eat all your invertebrates and all your coral. So that's something that you must keep in mind before buying this fish. If you have corals, then you know he's going to eat them. So you cannot keep him with corals, unfortunately. That's pretty bad if you have a coral reef. But if you don't have corals, then that's pretty good. This fish can be fed with, in this case, you can feed the Mrs. shrimp, brine shrimp, and if you want to train them to eat pellets, you can do it. Just add a little bit of pellets every single time you feed them with frozen food, and they will slowly acclimate to the pellets. Now, I always say don't give them too many pellets because if you give them a lot of pellets, then mainly they will not. They will eat them, but they will not be as colorful and as brilliant. So, don't give them pellets every single day. They can also eat algae, but they almost never eat algae, so it's pretty rare to see a triggerfish eating algae. They may take a bite out of it, but anyways, they're not pretty fans of algae. And this fish is not picky for eating. This fish can eat anything. And I am not saying anything, but this fish can eat other fish. You will never see a triggerfish eating other fish. You may see him attacking them, but it's only rare cases. But if you give a triggerfish a dead fish, then he will eat it because if they see a dead fish, they will eat it. But they don't normally do it with a small fish or fish that are not dead. Now let's keep on acclimating them. So if you want to acclimate your triggerfish, what I always do is that I make a hole in a bag, a pretty small hole, and I put it on my aquarium and I wait for 30 minutes to the bag to fill up so the fish can slowly acclimate, and that's the new way I am doing it, and that's the best way you can do it, or at least in my opinion, and it works for me. So you can do it if you want to, or you could just put them in the aquarium floating for 30 minutes or 1 hour, and then put them in a bucket and slowly add a cup of water from your aquarium every single 4 minutes. That's a pretty good way to acclimate them anyways. Now, wait a second. Now, we'll be talking about diseases. So these fish are pretty powerful. They may not get diseases. They could get ick. Ick is something they could get, but they don't get ick a lot of times, so they're pretty resistant and they almost never get anything. The only thing that they could get is ick or parasites in their stomach, but they almost never get that. unless you give them something that is live that has already parasites on it, something that's disgusting, and I don't think you will feed that to your fish. If you are feeding your fish live crabs or live fish, something that triggerfish don't eat live fish. But anyways, if you feed them that, be careful with what you feed to your triggerfish, because if you feed him a live invertebrate, make sure that that live invertebrate doesn't have anything like any parasites in him, because it can go to your triggerfish and he will mainly die. Now we will be talking about behavior. So basically, if you're asking yourself what is the behavior of this fish can be pretty aggressive, and not only aggressive with the fish in your aquarium, they can also be aggressive with you. So usually you will not see a triggerfish trying to attack other fish. But if the fish are too small, or their aquarium is too small, or there are not enough territories, then they might do it. So make sure the aquarium is big enough and that it has enough territory so he could live. Like I said, 30 gallons is the perfect size for them. Basically, that's what you need. Also, I want to say that they can also be aggressive with you. If you try to pet them, you might get a bite, because they have pretty small sharp teeth in their mouth. So petting them is not the best thing you can do. So when your triggerfish is angry, you will leave. It's recommended for you to leave him alone, because if you don't leave him alone, then you may get a good bite from him. Ho ho ho. So that's what I wanted to say. These fish are not aggressive. They only get aggressive if you water them alone, or if there are not enough territories, but they're pretty peaceful. They're not bad. And now we will be talking about another important thing. So this is mainly, I want to say, if these fish are reef safe or not. As I say, these fish are not reef safe, and they will eat every single reef you see. And you may be asking, but why? They live in nature and don't eat corals. Well, in nature they don't eat corals, but sometimes they do eat corals, and other times they just eat small invertebrates, like I said. So they are not invertebrates and reef compatible, so don't keep them with invertebrates and corals. This is the last warning. Please don't feed the poor invertebrates or the poor animal corals to your triggerfish. And last one, but is this fish recommended? Yeah, they're pretty good fish for beginners. They are not picky to eat. You don't need a gigantic aquarium. I mean, tanks and butterfly fish, they don't need a gigantic aquarium. But anyways, some people say that they need gigantic aquariums. Ugh. But they don't need them. These fish are pretty colorful. And the only thing I would recommend is to not stick your finger on the aquarium, because you will get a pretty good bite. Also, they may remove decorations from one side to another if they don't like where they are placed. So yeah, you just have to figure out that with your triggerfish, and you will have to fight with him to keep the decorations in place. You will have to ask him, because he's the king of the aquarium. He will put the decorations wherever he wants, because he's the king. Yeah, the king. Bye, guys.